Next up at UFC Vegas 78, we have Terrance McKinney stepping up on short notice to take Mike Breeden, who lost his original. Where the did he go? Terrance McKinney, as I mentioned, short notice step up. He's taking on Mike Breeden. Terrance McKinney's 13-6 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off back-to-back losses, the most recent of which was just a few weeks ago. He's taking on Mike Breeden. Mike Breeden, 10-5 overall, 2-1 in his last 5. He is looking for his first official UFC win. This is an interesting fight to break down because Terrance McKinney is an astonishing 3-1 favorite right now. 3-1 favorite. Almost 3-1. It closed a little bit. This guy just lost 2 weeks ago, but what's interesting is, let me break him down first. First, we all know he's insanely athletic. He has power in his hands. He's got slick jiu-jitsu and very good wrestling. He's got all of those things. If you're building a fighter at this weight class, Terrance McKinney has all the things that you would build a fighter with, right? He's got the JUCO All-American wrestling. He's got the power in his hands. He's got the speed. He's got the jiu-jitsu. He has all the tools. What he doesn't have is cardio and a chin. And that sucks because some of those things are God-given. Cardio you can earn, but there are some people that are just born with phenomenal cardio, and some people that can, no matter what they do, they will not have phenomenal cardio, and a chin's a chin. Literally nothing you can do about that. He is coming off that loss just a few weeks ago to Nazim Sadikov, but what I loved about that loss was he spent the entire first round wrestling. He had a full-blown wrestling game plan, and that was huge to see because before that, he got caught up in a couple of slugfests and things didn't go his way, but he's a JUCO All-American wrestling, used the wrestling, and he did do that in his last fight. He won the first round, lost the scramble, and then ended up getting submitted in the second round. But the game plan was there, and I loved it. He's taking on Mike Breeden. Mike Breeden has 2 fights in the UFC. They were both over a year ago. His UFC debut was a short notice step up, lost to Alexander Hernandez, and his last fight was a decision loss to Natan Levy. He's a good striker. He's got solid range, good variety. He has some power in his hands. Not enough to steal a fight later in the fight, though, or steal a fight in the later rounds, though. He's more of a volume guy. He's always throwing something. His takedown defense is just okay, but his get-up game is actually phenomenal. So, here's the breakdown. I think Terrance McKinney should win this fight. We saw Mike Breeden just get taken down over and over and over and over and over again by Natan Levy. 9 times, to be exact. Terrance McKinney is a much better wrestler than Natan Levy is. It's not even close. The problem is Natan Levy has cardio, and he can do that 9 times. He can do that for 3 rounds. Terrance will probably slow down. I still think Terrance wins. I love that we saw a wrestling game plan out of him. I'm hoping we'll have a wrestling game plan out of him here. So he's going to be the pick. Not the most confident pick in the world. Not touching this money line, but you know what bet I got going on here, Jakey boy? Which... How about not the sex noises?
What are you talking about?
The bet that I got is over 1.5. And I know Terrance McKinney, like, an over 1.5 is crazy. But it's plus 240. I threw $25 at it. If Terrance McKinney comes out with a wrestling-heavy game plan, this dude could absolutely be wrestling for 7.5 minutes. Get some takedowns, Mike will pop back up. Get some takedowns, Mike will pop back up. Mike's power will sort of fade over the first round. And then the second round, I don't even care if Terrance gets tired. There shouldn't be enough power on the Mike side. And so I think we get past 1.5 rounds. So I threw $25 at that at plus 240. What do you think of that bet, and what do you think of this fight?
Yeah, that value is, that is extreme value because, as you mentioned, Terrance seems like he's starting to try and mold himself into an actual fighter, right? I mean, the way it happened, it was almost... It was worse for his career that he was so good early because it was just like, oh my God, this is easy, and he was never really able to settle into what he could become because the talent on this kid is unreal. It's a shame that he's already kind of losing his chin a little bit this early, and that's going to happen when you have a bunch of first-round finishes. You're going to keep chasing first-round finishes like that, so it's going to happen. Hopefully he can kind of regain that because this kid is super, super talented. And this is a fight that if this was, a couple years ago, Terrance McKinney would be minus 1,500. He'd be minus 2,000 against Mike Breeden. That's nothing against Mike Breeden. It's just the talent levels are that different. But even in his last fight, where he came in, he had a game plan, he implemented the game plan. Everything went right in that first round. He still fucking got finished. I mean, he still lost that. He still lost that fight and got finished. And against a guy like Mike Breeden, who can kind of take, I don't want to say like a beating as far as like strikes, but in the wrestling and stuff like that, he can kind of survive. You saw that with Natan Levy. He got better as the fight went on, and in the third round, he won the third round on 2 of the judges' scorecards. So he won the third round of a very tough fight. And that's like the worst case scenario for Terrance McKinney, a guy that can survive and can kind of come on late in the second and the third round of fight. So yes, my pick is going to be Terrance McKinney. But at this point, I don't know how anybody can trust him with anything. Money line. I mean, if you want to chase like a first round finish, I know a lot of people are like, if you're going to play him, you might as well play first round. But I agree. There is a situation where he can get out of the first round and still get the control and maybe find a later finish or maybe even a decision win. Maybe it's like one of those weird Terrance McKinney just out-wrestle him for 3 rounds type of thing. But, I can't. At this point, I love Terrance McKinney. I think he's crazy talented, and I hope that he becomes what he can become. But when it comes down to betting, you can't trust him. You just can't trust him at this point. So he is my pick. But I'm staying away from him completely. But I do like your play.
Yeah, I mean, getting past 7.5 fight minutes for Terrance McKinney is not a common practice, but based off of the wrestle-heavy game plan in his last fight and Mike Breeden's wild get-up game, and it was never stopped trying to get up with Natan Levy. I think Mike Breeden's a very live underdog, a very, very live underdog. And I think we might get a little bit of a longer fight. So, quarter of a unit on that. I don't have DraftKings pricing on the screen, but they did drop the pricing earlier today after I made this graphic. $9,200 for Terrance McKinney. $9,200 for Terrance McKinney. $7,000 for Mike Breeden.
I got it right here.
I think Mike Breeden at $7,000 is actually decent value because when Terrance McKinney loses, his opponents score a ton of points, and when he wins, he scores a ton of points. It's man, 9,200 to 7,000 is crazy. This should be a lot closer.
This feels like it was like. I mean, this should be an easy win for this dude, but we'll see how it plays out.
We will see, because the other factor is it's a short notice step up for Terrance McKinney. I don't know him well enough at all to say what he does or doesn't do before or after fights, but the dude just lost a fight 2 weeks ago. I imagine he just started eating, he cut all that weight and all the thing. He's just going to enjoy life for a few minutes. And then now he's just immediately cutting weight. And that wasn't that Dennis Bazooka's big excuse. Oh, I had to cut all that weight immediately, and that's why I drank, So we'll see what happens. But weonpicks.com, click become a member, unlock everything you could ever imagine, and then some for only $10 a month. If you want to see what's behind premium, I get probably 30-ish customer service emails a week. A lot of them are, hey, I just signed up. Where is this? I just signed up. Where is that? We have a video. If you just go to our channel, go to our YouTube profile, if you will, the pinned video or the main video is a 20-minute walkthrough of everything on premium. Every screen, where to click, what you get, everything it has. So anything you ever need to know will be right there if you just want to see what it all looks like and how to use it before you sign up. weonpicks.com.
What does it look like? Can you talk about it a little bit? What does it look like?
It's very pretty. It's very pretty. It has
pretty,
all the
huh?
Hey, you know what? I'll show you at the end of this.